In the peaceful town of Willowbrook, a beloved bakery became the stage for an unexpected meltdown that shook a community. When social media influencer Delilah Monroe's perfect baby shower cake wasn't exactly as imagined, her reaction went viral, sparking outrage, heartbreak, and a fight for justice. This is a story about more than a ruined cake. It's about pride, forgiveness, and how one small town stood together against chaos. Welcome to the Salmon Cake Meltdown. In the quaint town of Willowbrook, Oregon, where the mornings often smelled of fresh pine and blooming lilacs, the pastel storefront of Rosalie and Crumb was a beloved fixture. It wasn't just a bakery. It was a sanctuary for locals craving sweetness and comfort, baked fresh daily. The soft hum of conversation, the gentle clinking of coffee cups, and the warm aroma of buttercream frosting wrapped around every corner. Grace Layton, the head baker, was the quiet heart of this place. With her silver-streaked hair tied back in a loose bun dusted with flour, she crafted pastries that felt like memories on a plate. Her assistant Mira, shy but skillful, handled the delicate decorations with care. That serene morning shattered the moment Delilah Monroe entered, streaming live to her 2.5 million followers, clad in a blush chiffon dress. Her phone's ring light clipped to the screen. She commanded the room's attention like a whirlwind. Delilah wasn't just any influencer. She was a titan of social media, a personality whose opinions could make or break brands with a single video. Today was supposed to be her moment, a flawless reveal of the custom baby shower cake she had commissioned weeks earlier. The cake sat in a glass case, 3 tiers, smooth buttercream swirls, crowned with rose gold sugar petals. The colors meant to blend perfectly with her aesthetic. But as the lid lifted, Delilah's face shifted. Her smile dropped into a scowl. "This is salmon, not blush," she shouted, knocking on the glass with manicured fingers, sharp enough to leave marks. The room fell silent, save for the murmurs from the small crowd of patrons and the steady buzz of her live chat. Grace stepped forward calmly, her voice even but firm. "The shade is from natural beetroot dye. It can vary slightly, but I have test palettes here. We can adjust the color for you." Delilah's eyes narrowed. She was not interested in a conversation-only drama. She dismissed Grace's offer and demanded a new cake immediately. When Grace brought out a sample slice tinted differently, Delilah's disappointment was palpable. She stared, silent for a moment, then turned to her camera with a smug smile and flung the entire cake box across the bakery. Time slowed as the box slammed against the marble counter, bursting midair. Raspberry filling exploded outward, splattering customers, coats, and a toddler's meticulously arranged cupcake tower for a nearby birthday party. The gasps and cries filled the room. A mother cried softly over her ruined child's birthday treats. Newlyweds, just finishing their ceremony photos nearby, wiped red stains off their white suits. But instead of apologizing, Delilah raised her voice for her online audience. "This is what happens when amateurs run a business. I won't accept mediocrity." That moment marked a turning point, not just for Delilah, but for the entire community. Her followers' reactions fractured. Some laughed. Others expressed shock and disappointment. Clips of the Tantrum exploded across TikTok and Twitter. Cake Karen trending by morning. The local news picked up the story, but instead of sensationalizing the spectacle, they focused on the human side, the toddler whose joyous day was overshadowed by trauma, the bakery staff who cleaned tirelessly, and the community's response. Rosalie and Crumb didn't crumble under the weight of the scandal. Grace, ever composed, worked with Mira to scrub every surface and replaced every damaged treat. They even organized a free birthday party for the toddler, complete with a puppet show and lavender cupcakes, extending a hand of kindness to those affected. Delilah, however, found her influence slipping. The wedding planning firm she partnered with severed ties. A major brand paused sponsorship deals. A former baker and her follower base released an investigative video exposing a pattern of mistreatment towards small businesses and employees, backed by testimonials and behind-the-scenes clips. Meanwhile, the community rallied around Rosalie and Crumb. Curious tourists came to see the site of the cake war, and orders surged. Grace harnessed the moment, creating the salmon swirl surprise, a raspberry cream Claire iced in the infamous salmon hue, a cheeky nod to resilience. Then, weeks later, Delilah returned not as the queen of viral outrage, but quietly and alone, without the ring light, without the crowd. She stood before the counter, hesitant, eyes downcast. "I overreacted," she muttered, voice barely audible. Grace offered a simple nod and a freshly baked Claire. Delilah took a bite, her shoulders visibly relaxing. In that moment, she was just a woman flawed, vulnerable, real. She left without another word, but the staff applauded softly. Not for her, but for themselves, for weathering the storm and emerging stronger. Months passed. Rosalie and Crumb became more than a bakery. It was a hub of community spirit. Mira led pastel icing workshops for children, teaching color theory for cupcakes. Grace was profiled in a national food magazine as a model of grace under pressure. And near the counter, a small plaque appeared, pink as a spectrum. So is kindness. The story of the salmon cake meltdown was no longer about scandal or outrage. It was about forgiveness, growth, and the power of a community to rise above.